Okay. Hi, welcome Saloni, welcome Rohan, welcome Krunal, and
Thank
welcome everybody who has joined. Extremely sorry for the initial glitches because of the technical reason. Normally, it doesn't happen with this platform Blab, but today there are some issues with the internet connectivity. But nevertheless, welcome once again, everybody, and thank you so much, Saloni, Rohan, and Krunal, for accepting this request for joining as a panel member. The purpose of this particular blab, that is online panel discussion, called Entrepreneurship Challenges and Opportunities, is very clear that nowadays many of the peoples are dreaming to become an entrepreneur. Whether they are the freshers, they are coming just into the market, or maybe the people who are willing to leave the job and they want to start their own business. But still, we can see that many of the people are facing problems. Though they are facing many challenges, at the same time, you can see that they are getting many opportunities as well. So, in this case, it becomes so crucial that they have to go through some different challenges, and at the same time, they have to accept the opportunities. Now, for the initial stage, I would like you guys to throw some light, first of all, on this topic. Later on, I'll be asking some questions to all of you, and we will be having some questions from the viewers as well. So I think, as we say, female first. So we will start from Saloni. Saloni, let me introduce Saloni first. Saloni is a owner of.
Bhautik, am I
Yes, Rohan.
audible? Am I
You are
audible?
audible. Yes, Rohan. Yes,
Okay,
yes,
okay.
Rohan.
Sorry, you
Great,
go ahead.
great. Okay. Saloni is a partner in the S Team Designs, that is a leading architecture firm in Surat. She is also a founder of Oblique, which designs a beautiful designs for the buildings and houses. And more than that, she's a mother of two beautiful kids. So Saloni, can you throw some lights on this topic first?
Yeah. Entrepreneurship for me is basically about taking risk. And what I think that today, in today's world, we are in a very good position as, in the respect of entrepreneurship, because people are much more open to new ideas, to trying new things, and accepting new ideas. So that gives courage to people to actually put forward ideas, and so that ways I think it's a very big opportunity, and that is probably why we are seeing so many startups and stuff. A lot of them are succeeding, and they're very young people who are coming up with these ideas. So I think we are in a very good time.
Wonderful, true. Rohan, your views, please.
Anything particular you wanted to ask? So this is
Saloni,
my general feeling.
I will come to you later on.
Okay.
Let us hear what was the insights of Rohan. Rohan,
Right.
please.
Yeah, I believe entrepreneurship is in today's world is all about doing the things which are which forwards the human race. I'll tell you that doing something which is just for earning money is not an entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurship is a very vivid term. So doing something which people have not done, taking the human race ahead, and doing the stuffs which are really very different. Doing the same stuffs and like for example, my ex education is done or before that they have done is something what I feel that it is not about entrepreneurship, it is carrying forward the legacy already which has been. So I think so. What I believe entrepreneurship is that doing something which is very different, very creative, and something which helps the world to go ahead. Either it is in the term of finance, or it is in the term of IT, or it is in the form of any term. But then something which makes the humankind ahead of its time is entrepreneurship for me.
Wonderful. Absolutely right. Krunal, your views, please. Okay, I hope Krunal is able to hear us. Great. I think we are not able to hear Krunal. There are some issues with his mic. But nevertheless, Rohan, I shall continue with you only, as Rohan is a partner in Turtle Wealth Financial Management. and she's a very big name nowadays in Surat. And she's a very young 32, I think. Yes, right, Rohan? 32?
Yeah, no, 31. But for Bharat, I'm still a kid.
Okay, so Rohan is a young boy, and obviously he's achieving new heights every now and then. Rohan, the particular question which always comes in the mind is you started your career as a job. You are doing a job, you are an employee, like just many students who just complete their MBA and they are doing the job. You did the same thing. How come the idea of becoming an entrepreneur came into your mind, and what were the challenges you faced during the initial period?
See, Bhautik, I'm going to be very honest, and sometimes honesty creates brutality and maybe something which somebody turns that to ego. But I'll tell you that when I was doing job, I was really very happy. I was keeping my family happy. But then I found a very good insight of reading. So I started reading, and then I found that in last 100 years of Forbes, there was nobody who was in Forbes list who was doing a job. So the
Right.
first initial thing was that you cannot be rich by doing job. One. Nowadays you can be like Nikesh Arora or something who gets 800 crore package, but that's from 700 crores there can be seven people that like him.
Right.
Second, I found that I was not getting the happiness to doing something different because it's doing job. It's very very a synergy of boss and employee has the same mindset, or a boss can be much more better to take insights from the employee. That maybe synergy was not happening with me. So
True.
it's very tough decision. The decision was like when you go to a cold water shower, you just wait for 5 minutes. कि मैं जाऊं कि ना जाऊं कि ना जाऊं, and you have to go it. That is the 5 seconds or 10 seconds of shiver you have to take it. But I
Right.
assure you that this shiver is very hard shiver. It takes a lot of balls to have it into it. Again, there was a lot of responsibility on my head. No financial backup, means no person who can back me up for financial. I had a daughter, I had a home loan, and of course a beautiful wife. So this was something which was creating a problem, but I was not happy. So I started by God's grace, I got this company. But one thing, what I did, and I would recommend every upcoming entrepreneurs to do, is that to meet people who have failed in startups. I
True.
met really about 4 individuals who had failed thoroughly in startup, and I asked them that how did you fail, and they gave me nearly about 6 to 7 steps, and I blessed them that because of them, one guy who was failed thoroughly, he told me that you have to be so process driven. You won't believe, from the very first day of our company, everything is SOP made, everything is
True.
process made. So
True.
everything has to be processed to do the right things. So it is very easy when you start doing entrepreneurship to evade taxes, to do manipulation, because you're a small company, nobody is going to sit. But you won't believe, on the very first quarter of our company, we paid advance tax. So to
Oh,
do the right things, which are ethically right, and from the very first day we decided that we are going to be sold off, but we are not going to pay our employee salary that can be less than first. So till today, our salary of employee goes before first to their account. So the standards what we had maintained from the very first day had really helped us to uplift and to on the steps of pinnacle in our life.
that's wonderful. And Rohan, like obviously, I know the insights of your company somewhat, and I appreciate what you have done till the date. Saloni, the first thing which comes into the mind of many people, that being a female, you cannot become entrepreneur. Now, what are the challenges of a female? Because just after the marriage, you join your husband's business, you are leading, you are the one of the partners of the company, and later on you had your own creativity, you are a professional, you're still a big professional, and you started the Oblique. Then what were the challenges which you faced in the initial years, where you were a new bride, you were new to the home after marriage? How did you face this particular situation?
Yeah, so actually, I did not start out as an entrepreneur. I am a professional. I'm an architect by education, architect, urban planner. And we started our office back in 2002, my husband and I. And as you mentioned, I have been facing challenges of being a woman. In our profession, we need to deal with a lot of people who are unskilled labor. And it may sound funny, but yes, there is a problem of people listening to a woman on site.
True.
So that is something I faced earlier, that I would say something and it would not get done, but the same thing, if Snehal says it, then it gets done. And so we had these kind of issues, but then later on, things started to change and it became better. I hope you can hear me because
Yes,
I
yes,
cannot
yes,
see
yes,
any.
yes. We can. Please go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Then after I had kids, I mean, understandably, I did not have enough time to give to the profession, and also besides that, I could not take up anything that was deadline oriented. So, so I diversified into the field of art, which is something I was interested in since I was a kid, and that has resulted into Oblique. So Oblique is a firm which makes customized art installations, and it's a model in which I can, I have a lot of flexibility in how much time I give, where I work from, and things like that. So then I can balance both my family and my work. And so luckily I have not had to give up work. And thanks to the support of my family, my in-laws, everybody has been so encouraging that it has been a, very fairly, how do you say, smooth journey for me.
Right. Absolutely. It's a smooth journey. Rohan.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rohan, when it comes to start a business as a startup, the main challenge is of the finance. As again, the same question to you that you have came from the background of. Yes, Rohan, can you hear? I think we lost Rohan. Yes, Rohan, can you hear?
Yeah.
Okay. So, like, what are the challenges for any new entrepreneur in terms of getting finance, the financial support, what you can say, the incubation? Now, how do they face this challenge?
See, it depends on business to business. For me, it was like my savings, of course. It totally depends on business. Like we are thinking for an IT firm now. For that, you need a lot of money for investments and all that stuff. But then I think so. The initial investments are only what I believe is your savings, or maybe if somebody friends or from area, you can get some fund, because it would be very hard for people to come down to understand your ideas, because there are a lot of companies which comes down every day and new thoughts. And the problem is that in India, entrepreneurship, what it is in Silicon Valley, it is not been understood so well. You go to Silicon Valley, you have a simple idea, you get a funding. So in India,
Right.
it is not like that. You have to do a lot of stuff. Then at the end of the day, maybe you can get a funding. So I think
True.
so. Initial idea can be only by taking money from either from your saving, your parents, your friends, and your relatives. And you see, Indian 90% of the companies has only been started by this funds only. So hardly people get some funding from outside. And I
Right.
don't know how these banks and all gives funding, because in our business people don't give funding because people don't see as a business, rather
Right.
consulting business, right? So I think
Hmm.
so. I think so. Rather than to get a lot of funding from outside and to get a leveraged, I think so. One should start small. Start with a small team. It is said that start big, but I think so. Initial years of entrepreneurship. Generally, what I see with a lot of entrepreneurship is that they want big offices, big all that stuff, but then it is a lot of overheads on head, and then
Yes.
we start to do all the wrong things. Like, wrong thing is not the cheating and all the chori stuff, nothing like that. But then you start having a poor service, poor delivery, and the passion decreases. So I believe once you start small, you have a team of one or two. Maybe when I started, I thought that to work from my home only. But then my mama used to tell me that for any entrepreneur you should have an office. So I started an office for
to 300 square feet office. So then you start small, then you grow eventually big, and then.
So Rohan, your firm is basically into financial management, portfolio management. Now I can't hear you. I'm not able to hear. Yeah.
We
Okay.
are more into doing research in markets.
Okay.
So the most boring work we do.
No, research is very interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting, but it takes a lot of pain to do that. But then it is also very funny also. So it's great. What do you do, Saloni? I mean, so you have an interior, what do you do?
We have about 3-4 firms. Actually, basically, my husband and I both are architects, and we have done our masters in urban design and urban planning. So our basic firm that we started with was an architecture interior design firm. It's called S-Team.
Okay.
And then we started something which deals with projects for the city. For example, the recently opened Gopi Talao. That has been done by one of our firms, which is called Urban Initiatives.
Okay. I've heard a lot of praise of that place. I could not go there. But,
you should visit it because it's a heritage for the city.
This weekend I'm going to do that.
Yeah. Okay. And then I'm running this firm which is called Oblique, which is a firm that deals with customized artworks. So, for example, you might have seen the tree in Taj Gateway Hotel in the lobby. Yeah, so that's one of our first creations.
Amazing area.
That is a space in the, you could say, market which is not explored too much. There is not enough awareness about art, and it's a need. I mean, people spend for the house, but they don't have budgets for art. But we hope to change that.
It so well.
I'm sorry?
Great. Then I should approach you for the new flat, we are planning for. So
sure, why not?
Yeah. I'll get your number from Bautik and should approach you,
Definitely.
That's great. I was just, I love the infrastructure and all that. I'm not, I'm a great admirer of it. But then what I believe is that Europe is one of the best admirable infrastructure places in the world.
Right.
It's beautiful. Means the way they have planned it. I was just thinking yesterday I was in Mumbai and I was thinking in the fort area that the British were so smart. The building what they have still created today means years back, maybe 100. They're still so strong.
Right.
And my flat, which I live off before, I bought before 5 years, started, I'm thinking that, iska reconstruction karwana padega.
Yes.
So it is unbelievable how they have planned it before 100, 200 years. Let me do something. If somebody has, if anybody is listening to us, if you have any questions, that would be beautiful.
Yeah, please send the messages or ask us. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think so. Nobody has a question. That's the best or worst part. I don't know. But anyways, let me ask you a question. Let me take the opportunity to explore your mind. So, being an entrepreneur and being a woman, that's the most beautiful entrepreneur. So, what do you find the difference between a male entrepreneur and a women entrepreneur?
Really, I'm not very much into this kind of thing, but broad.
There are certain areas where your husband would be very strong and certain areas where you would be strong.
Yes. Yes, in general, we could, I mean, this is very general, but we could say that men are more logical. And so wherever there is something that has to be explained more rationally, then his skill is better than mine. And if there has to be an emotional connect, then I think I could do that better. So that is a generalization, but yes, it works in many cases.
Yeah, that's truly
I think
amazing.
we're having some questions on the side.
Yeah. Especially for entrepreneurs of this area, host Rohan and Saloni and then refreshed. I don't know. My wife is she she's the multitasker of the world. Means she does much more than me. She takes care of our daughter, home. She does her creative stuffs and she manages. She's a trader too. So I sometimes
Okay.
believe that she does much more work than, and then I go home and then I say that I'm tired, full day work. But then I sometimes I believe that she does much more work than me.
Yeah, well, it is a task to balance work and home, and that is why this model that I have of my firm it works for me, because I can leave the office when I want to, and I'm not like answerable to anybody, because there are kids meetings at school and stuff and all that which I have to attend. So I have to create a model which allows me that kind of flexibility.
I want to ask you again. Being a lady, what I learned from always, ladies are that how do you manage your productivity? Because
How do you define productivity?
productivity is doing the right thing at the right time and ending at the right time.
In that case, how do you define right?
For example, you schedule that today I'm going to complete this X work.
Yes.
Yes. What happens with men is that men are rather not put it in a race, but for me, it feels that kuch bhi kaam aa gaya, then we stuck to some other thing. But in that sense, I've seen that ladies are more very focused. So you how do you manage your team, your productivity, your goals? You do believe in all that, or you just go with the flow?
I'm more of a go with the flow kind of person, because like I said, many times it is very difficult for me to, do exactly as planned. Because something or the other comes up and there is something that I have to do for the kids or for the house, and then I have to leave early, or something or the other keeps on happening, which many times disrupts. If I have planned something here today, I'll do this much, then I may not end up doing it. And then instead of getting frustrated about it, I have kind of said, okay, I will go with the flow. I mean, there is nothing being, I'm not losing out on anything because of not doing so.
Yeah, totally. Sometimes I believe, that, I always, I'm not believe, I always think that, I'm going to come office at 8:45 sharp and leaving by 5 and I'm going to, but, it works for 2 days and then I'm the same, I know sometimes I feel that I met, maybe it could be an inspiration for you. She's Nipa Shah for Trust Capital. She's in Mumbai. She runs a 3,000 crore company. And she comes at 9, she leaves by 4:30 in Mumbai. And she says that till 4:30, I know how much work we do. And she asked me that how much productive work you do. And I told in percentage terms, maybe 15%. I think so, but 15% is much more than I actually do. But, I had to be more good to her. So she said that why reduce your work time and start giving more time to your family, and that will eventually grow more into business. And I started it, and really I'm feeling a change in my work process.
Okay. What did you change? I mean, what did you start doing?
Yeah, I mean, what I started doing was that, I, like, for example, what we do, like what we is males, what we do is that we go by 9 and then we see how, whatever profession you do, means highest profession, your work is at least productive work is maybe 30-40% only. Whatever you do, but rest maybe you do Facebook or Twitters or whatever in the world we can do. So what I've decided is that from 9 to 5 is my work. That's my only work, right? 1 hour you leave by job, and for that, because of my procrastination of work, my family is not going to get this, is not going to get the pain, because I said that I have a lot of work because I didn't do the work at the time I had to do the work.
Right.
So what we do is that we tell our family that my daughter comes and says, "Daddy, let's play." And I say, "I have a lot of work."
Very
But
busy. Yeah.
I had work only because I didn't complete my work, and that is the reason I'm prolonging the work, and I'm sacrificing my family life. So what I've
Right.
decided is that by 5 I'm not completing. I'm not going to because our work is like till 12 night, because commodity
Right.
market works till 12 night.
Okay.
So then I'm trying to go forward for that. At 9 to 5 is the work, because we entrepreneurs, we have thought, or a lot of people believe that 9 to 5 is not for entrepreneurs, but only for job.
Right.
But then at that level you have to have your, I
Yeah.
think so we both of the level, we can say that I can not meet at 6 o'clock, we can meet tomorrow at 9.
Yeah, I think this is a very important thing, and I can see that. I mean, it has been part of our discussions, as in me and my husband also, that if I'm working for somebody, as you said, that I would work. I mean, my mind is on it for the time I'm in office. But if I'm running a firm or if I'm running a company, then there is no holiday for me. I mean, my mind is on it all the time. So now how do you define productivity? Because I am talking to people, like, or my husband is talking to people, meeting people on Sundays, replying to emails. So for an entrepreneur, I don't think there is a that kind of a difference ki, okay, ghar aa gaye, so now work is over. So it goes on. I mean, otherwise, if you are with a job mentality doing, I mean, your own business, then I don't think that model works very well.
Yeah, totally. Again, it is so much important on your team too, how much you delegate also.
Exactly. Yes. Yes, but your mind will. I mean, should not.
Yeah, mind.
Yeah, good. Sorry for the delay, my net's been acting up.
No problem.
How are you? Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell us something
Good
about
evening.
yourself. Good evening.
I am a scion of Sarkar family, Sarkar restaurant that has been in the market since 1978.
Oh,
And
great.
yeah, since 2014, I got into this business. I kind of inherited it. It's in my legacy, right? So I
Okay.
got into it. I did my BSc honors in computer science, majoring in digital media and gaming. As soon as I got back, I joined my family business, that is a restaurant, and we branched out a catering company that is also known as Sarkar Caterers. We've been doing
Okay.
well. We launched in November 2014. After that, the foodie cart thing was already in the pipeline. It was in the making. I was also doing my research while I was doing the catering business.
Okay.
Foodie cart is something which is my brainchild. I came up with it just because I saw that we have tie-ups with other delivery companies that are existing in Surat, and I found out that the delivery could be much more, it could be done in style. There are ways you can improve it, and that's what I did. I introduced the concept of live order tracking in Gujarat. The boxes, the kind of updates that I give are real time. You can watch
Okay.
your food come to you with live traffic of the city.
Okay.
That is
That's great.
something, yeah, that is something that no other food delivery company provides in the Western India.
Right. So do you have competition in Surat?
Yes, we do have competition in Surat, but yeah, it's again a part of the challenge. Like, you have to research your competition, study what they're doing. The reason why, when the pro in this thing is that I have a restaurant of my own, which happens to be a good one. We have a lot of parcels going out. So I kind of tied up with all my competitors just to see how it's going, you know, uh,
Okay.
just to see how the way they do business. and what could be done to make it better.
Right.
Right. So yeah, I did research on my competitors. I studied their policies, studied how they facilitate the consumer, the user, because you
Mm-hmm.
know, and then I devised a plan, what all facilities I should be introducing as an entrepreneur. Because if I don't do something innovative, I'm just a businessman, right?
Right.
And this is a new market, food tech. But what other big sharks in food tech are doing is that they only take orders. They do not do the
Mm-hmm.
delivery. They do not take the job of delivery, which is equally important in my eyes. I think
Okay.
if you're just taking orders from someone else's behalf, you're basically doing half the job. Where's the food? Where is it coming? Like, how is it coming? Who's getting it? Is it going to be hot or not? If it's
Right.
cold, is it going to be cold or is it going to be hot?
Right.
So yeah, I
So
just
being in Surat, I think because of Suratis being such big foodies, I think it's a very apt
good city.
scene to be in.
Yes, it is. It is indeed
Do
very
you plan to
lucrative.
expand beyond Surat also?
Yes, of course. We are already, looking at Baroda and Ahmedabad as potential markets because I grew up in Baroda. I did my schooling in Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan's Baroda. I was a boarder over there for 10 years.
Okay.
I understand Barodians, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, but Barodian people, it is an altogether a different class. Surat
Right.
is very money oriented, if you look at it. But Parodians, they enjoy food tech,
Yes. I
and
think the difference between say Ahmedabad, Baroda, and Surat is that Surat is mostly business people, and
exactly.
there's more salaried people in Baroda and Ahmedabad. So there would be
True, true.
more of a need for such services maybe in those cities. Here we
Exactly.
have
My
very different kind of lifestyle, which is even the timings. If you see, our
right.
day starts very late and it goes on till late in the night.
Exactly.
So very different kind
Exactly,
of.
and that's one reason I introduced Surat's first night delivery because, like you said, our day ends in the morning.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. We,
Yeah.
we we started the first night delivery service in Surat. That is actually before I started, doing daytime delivery. I started with night delivery
Okay.
because that's what got the people that okay, there is somebody who is doing something which nobody is doing right now,
Hmm.
and that's how
Right.
I probably gained an edge over my competitors because they were just businessmen doing something that you can do in an existing market, but nobody tried to bring something new to the table. By the way, I heard you started Oblique uh, as a hobby. Is that true?
Not exactly a hobby. It's a diversification of our existing architecture and
I
interior
am
firm.
aware of what you've done for the Dream City project and for the Gopi Talab. It is actually pretty fascinating what you guys are doing. It's massive. The scale of the whole project is big, like
Yeah.
really big.
Have you visited
But
Gopitala?
yes, I have. The project is worth about 120, 1.25 lakh, 1.25 lakh crores or something, isn't it?
I'm not aware of the finance part of it. We were involved in the design process.
Right,
Actually, it's a partnership firm, and one of the partners, I mean, he's looking after the project.
right.
Um, and this is right now, what has been done is just the phase one, and consequently, the other phases are in the pipeline.
Okay. And did you do the Gopi Talab or also it is with
I was talking about the Gopitala only. You were talking about the Dream
Dream
City?
City? Yes.
Uh, no, Dream City yet. I mean, it's still under design, and we are not doing that design. I'm not sure who is doing it because somebody was doing it, but now they're not doing it, and I really don't know the status. What we presented was Diamond Bourse. And that project also, unfortunately, because of the condition of the diamond industry right now, it has been on hold. So hopefully it will take off in the future.
All right. Okay, Pankaj has a question for me. Okay, you were stuck for an hour in traffic. Pankaj, that's what the problem is with the metropolitan cities. The reason why I'm not, just jumping onto the metropolitan cities is because those cities, they have, huge traffics. And traffics, unless you've got the odd even scheme out, you can't really do anything about it. The government of Delhi has done a pretty good job. They have reduced the traffic up to 30%. And the reason why we are not expanding to metropolitans is because in small cities, Surat is not a small city to be honest. Per se. It's one of the biggest cities in India. But considering the scale compared to Mumbai or Delhi or Chennai, it is still small. And I am not looking at all, looking forward to go to metropolitan cities and do late delivery, unless because if you want to do something, you do it efficiently or don't. Now if you're stuck for an hour in traffic, I'm sure my delivery boy is going to be stuck too. One thing I can assure you, which Domino's won't, is that your food will still be hot if I am doing the delivery, or if it's a nice thing, I'm sure it won't be melted when you get it. It's going to be proper cold. But the timings, it is a big constraint when you look at it in terms of traffic. Surat is still actually one pro we've got is that our customers, they understand when they see the tracking, they understand that the guy is stuck in traffic and that's the reason for the delay. On weekends, the restaurants have a massive rush. Even then, there are certain times we what we do is we give the customer an option of pre-ordering things. If you pre-order your food and you say that I want this food at 6 p.m. in the evening, if it's a weekend, we know that we need to work on it like an hour and a half before in order to maintain that the delivery is done on time. But on that, you have to give us ample time, because there is not much we can do in terms of traffic unless we have the odd even scheme out in Gujarat as well. Because if that works at night, Pankaj, if you order food at night, I'm sure the delivery won't take longer than 15 to 20 minutes because the roads are pretty empty. But during the daytime, even not just during the daytime, it's the peak hours, it's the rush hours that consumes time. Otherwise, it's all good. And compared to other food delivery companies, we are there. It's not like we have processed your order and you just get it. We give constant updates. What's happening to your food? What's happening? What the status of it is. The reason I started live tracking is because when I was living on parcel service in London for about 4 years, I don't know how to cook. I am a terrible cook, right? So what I did was I ordered food from Just Eat. They have this site, a delivery service, and they're pretty good. Okay? But you can't. Once you've ordered, there is nothing. There is no communication with the company. You're just being told that you'll get your food within X amount of time. But what we do is that we give you the live tracking in order to kill the anxiety that grows on you. You get very. Am I audible?
Okay, I think he sent a message that we can conclude now. So, thanks.
Thank you, Saloni, for the nice chat.
Yep. Bye-bye.
It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you guys for having me on board. It was a great honor being the youngest guy for the Black. Thank you. Yeah, sure, I can throw some light on family business. I'm sorry. Next Blab. Yeah,